Hello. Oh, sorry, I forgot to move my cameras. Sorry. Hi, Megan. Hi, Stephanie. I had that weird thing happen again where I pressed go live and nothing happened. So I had to log out, log back in. So I've been chatting with support for 2 days. I think I know what I need to do. I think I have to stop streaming to Twitch. Hi, Malin. How's it going? All right. So hopefully the camera's okay. I kind of like swiped it out of the way so I could see the computer while I was working on things. Hi, Megan. Hello, hello. Can you guys hear and see me okay? Good to see you. I'm so sorry about Twitch, though. That's a bummer. So, because I've been waiting for support emails and Discord chat things and working on other things, I kind of chipped away at sewing some of the little squares together. And so then I finished one little coat for Loki. It's so ridiculous. So you can see, like, I made all those cuts in the squares, and then I sewed them together, and then I sewed the squares together. So it's very much like a little patchwork thing. Hi, Christina. How's it going? Hi, Sydney. Hi, Eliza. So I tried it on him last night. It's pretty ridiculous. He looks like, it's like his après-ski outfit. So, so anyway, but it fit, and it was good to like do a sample so I could see kind of where I want the Velcro and stuff, so that's really, really what was useful for that. So I'm trying to move my chat window so I can see you guys better. So, but then, okay, so as I was doing this, I stumbled upon this fabric, which you guys have probably seen me use, and I was like, why didn't I think to make a dog coat out of this? Because this is what my other dog looks like. So don't you think Loki needs a little coat that looks like Molly? So I'm going to sew this one first, because I know like this stream is really not applicable to everybody, like I know this is my own little personal project, and I know I lost some of you at quilting. So it's just really a way to hang out and sew together, especially since I'm having all these technical issues and I can't get Twitch to connect. So yeah, and then at the end I'm going to continue sewing my other scrappy one, and he'll have 3 little coats. So I'm crazy. Yeah, I'm feeling a little crazy. I think I just need to delete this app that is in with my encoder, but it just means I can't stream on Twitch, which is a bummer because, come on. And it's really dry here and my throat feels tickly, so let's just sew. I know, Megan, exactly. I feel like we kind of crossed over to the other side when we got a pug, Like, my husband literally said something to the effect of, if we get another dog, I want a real dog. My daughter was like, my husband doesn't usually say things like that. He was just joking, but at the same time, it kind of spoke volumes to having a small dog. But he gets really cold, and carrying him is a pain. So, now I have this backpack that I can carry him in. So I forgot the collar on the first one. I just totally forgot it. So this time I'm going to start sewing the collar. And I have a few tips for myself now as well, like on what I'm going to do. So I ended up putting a little batting inside. I almost put the wool felt because I feel like that would be a little warmer. But I didn't. I mean, wool felt is felted, but it can still... Hi, Raquel. It can still do some weird stuff. Like when you sew it. I mean, when you wash it. And I didn't pre-wash that. So that I felt like that would be a little bit of a risk. So I'm going to... And Megan, you're right. This like stuff is stretchier than I realized. It was getting a little all over the place. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, Sydney, that'd be nice. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Megan. They really are a hot mess. Yeah, if anyone's considering getting a pug, they're really expensive. I don't mean to buy, I mean to maintain. And it's not something we realize. So it is definitely, you got to be pretty committed because, yeah, he's got a collapsed trachea. He came to us almost losing an eyeball. And that's very common in pugs if they get scratched because their eyes are so bulbous. And then he did other stupid things like he ate a poisonous bug. And yeah, I think Frenchies are kind of in the same boat. He can't tolerate any heat. So, and it's very hot here. So, we have to be really careful. Yeah. And then I took him for his checkup on Monday and he has something called a luxor patella, which means like his little kneecap, like his knee will lock up. Because we noticed he gets gimpy sometimes on one of his legs and we're like, huh. And so I just asked her, and it was funny because she was actually inspecting his little body, and she said it right when she was inspecting it. I was like, oh, I wanted to ask you about that leg. And right when I was about to ask her, she says, oh, he has a luxor patella. And so I looked it up. It's not like serious or anything, and it's not preventing him from doing anything. It could be serious. It's more serious in other animals get it more serious. But it's common in small breeds, so yeah. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, the Frenchies are another hot mess. Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm not going to understitch this collar because what I have a feeling is going to happen is the sheepskin is actually going to peek out anyway. Maybe, actually, I think I'm going to put the sheepskin, it's not sheepskin, it's cotton, on the outside of the little jacket like that. I don't know. What do I want as far as a collar goes? I want it like this. It would be warmer on him like this. This looks better. I will stitch it. So anyway, what are you guys doing? What are you guys up to? What are you guys sewing today? It's Saturday. So. Oh. Yeah, exactly, Eliza. Yeah, and he sheds a ton. Like my house is kind of ruined, I feel like. In some ways I'm like, well, maybe not having friends now is okay because my house is furry and I'm not like that. I don't really like going to those people's houses where I'm like, oh, you guys need to manage this. It is hard to manage. I'm more sympathetic now. All right, I'm not going to be doing my best sewing, you guys, okay? I'm just going to be sewing these because they're little dog coats. It's therapy sewing day for me because of all the chat support stuff, and I edited my zip double video all day yesterday, and I'm actually liking doing that more now, which is nice, because it is kind of a pain. Oh, I don't like that, how it just flipped up. I don't like how it just flipped up. I'm gonna tack this. Wait, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I feel this little ridge here. See it? It's that stretch, man. I should have understitched it. I don't know if I really want to take all that out. Maybe I could just cut that off and make it smaller. That's what I'm gonna do. Hi, Daphne. Oh, Christina, you're making the Talon sweater from Hey June. Nice. Yeah. Oh, I bet. Yeah. Ooh, I'm just going to cut this off and see what happens. So bad, right? I have no idea what I was talking about. Oh, I was editing my zip double video. And when I was recording it, I kept getting this tickle. And so I would just pause and just keep recording because I can edit all that out and just put it together. I was missing maybe 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I don't know how I missed 3 minutes. If maybe when I pressed record, it didn't record. I couldn't find it. It wasn't deleted. It wasn't anywhere. So now I have to record the whole thing again because I'm missing this one little section in between. So come? Oh, right, Raquel? Yeah, we have 2 dogs, 2 cats. Oh, Sydney, I'm sorry. Is your sewing room, are you sharing it with the other things in the house, like a guest room? Is that why? So it becomes the place people put stuff? Oh, cool, Raquel. Yay, Megan, your Hudson kit comes today. We're going to sew those soon, Raquel, the Hudsons. All right, so I'm going to do this again. You like how I just cut it off? We will make this work. I think I got this little, where did I get this little Shiba Inu fabric? Barely on there. All right, this time I'm gonna understitch. I appreciate that, Sydney. Yeah, I had to do a cleaning the other day because I was like just jumping from so many projects, which is just kind of where I'm at right now. I have to jump between all these different projects. And I was, I'm just like ooching around on the table, finding a clean spot. And then I finally was like, oh, you gotta just clean all this, Oh, that's cool, Megan. Oh, I'm glad you like it. That's great. What are the 2 free ones? Are you getting like the stow bag or something else? All right, I'm gonna understitch this collar. I may still top stitch it, which I know is kind of a weird thing to do, but we'll see how it goes. Not easy to understitch this. This little cotton fleece is stretchy and thick. Plus I have batting in there. It really wants to, my seam allowance is so narrow right there. I'm gonna kind of roll it a little bit bigger. There we go. Molly is so happy right now because even though it's pretty cold here for us, there's sun on the deck and she just loves taking a sun bath. I guess her breed really likes that. She's been doing it in the house, but she loves it on the deck. And so the other morning when I was leaving for work, I thought she was in the house and I shut the back door. I knew she had been taking a sun bath earlier, but I thought she had come in and Loki had come in. And so I shut the door. And I just started like getting, putting my lunch in my bag, putting my coffee in my bag, all that. But Loki started acting kind of weird. And I realized, oh, maybe Molly's out there. And she was. I totally almost left her out all day. Yep. Oh, you kind of chuck it. Yeah. I know, Megan, right? A dedicated space is just such a great thing. Oh, does it not come in both, Raquel? You mean I don't have to provide metric? I've been providing metric on my pattern that I'm making. One at a top, something else, can't think. Oh, one is a top. And, oh, okay. Yeah, exactly, Malin. Oh, that's cool, Sydney. Yeah, I have a little gaming area in my bedroom of all places, just because that's where there's like a sitting area. All right, that looks a little better, huh? Now it's at least curling to the other side, and I'll just trim off this extra batting, which I poorly cut out anyway. I mean, there's no way to not make Loki look ridiculous. He's already ridiculous looking without clothes on. And I only put this on to keep him warm, so. Raquel, what you could do is just look through the pattern, and if there's like a lot of the same measurements, just write a little sheet right next and just put it next to your machine. Because I found like when I was trying to convert all of mine to metric, I learned, oh, this is where I use millimeters, this is where I use centimeters, and I'm hoping I did everything correctly. I hope I didn't pick a weird number, you know, because like for us, 2.25 for, you know, 2 1/4 inches would be normal. But maybe I picked something weird, like, you know, like when you see someone convert something and it says 2.23 inches, you, as an American, would be like, well, that's a weird number, you know? So I hope I didn't do anything like that in my pattern, you know? All right, so this is the strap, and on this one, I waited till after it was done to attach the Velcro, which isn't a big deal. Well, actually, no, I didn't on these. I actually did sew it to the fabric. It was the neck one that I didn't. So perfect. I'm gonna sew my Velcro to this one. So one of them is gonna have it on top, and one will have it on the underside. So the one on top will be the hook, and then the other one will be the loop. Because the loop you want towards the butt, like facing towards your skin. I'm just gonna, that was probably not a great idea. I kind of curved it a lot, but it helps a little bit. And I need to switch my thread. Yeah, that's so smart, Malin. Would you do that, Malin? I would really appreciate that. I've actually thought about asking you. Do you mind emailing me? So I have your email address and I'll send it to you. I'll give you a copy of it for doing that for me. It's sosolive@gmail.com. Because I did it all the way through the entire pattern, and so there's a lot of repetition, so I want to make sure I didn't do the same exact thing wrong all the way throughout 26 pages. 26 pages sounds like a lot, but don't worry. I have like literally one step per page. My directions are they're photographed, explained in a tiny little blurb, plus you have a video. Like, it's like the whole thing, you know. Sounds like a lot. Thanks, I appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah, because the gal I work with, she's not going to proofread anything for me. Like, I'm kind of surprised sometimes when I tell her one thing, you know, and it doesn't make sense. Like, what I'm doing, like when I say what I want, I'm thinking, oh, that'll make sense because of what I'm asking, and she doesn't understand it. But she said, she goes, I don't not proofread, I don't look at any of that. I'm like, okay. And I don't expect her to at all. Like, it's not her content, it's my content. But at the same time, like, there's certain things I'm like, I probably shouldn't catch that one. But then she's caught other things I didn't catch, so it's a good partnership. All right, so we have seam allowance there on the end. So this is nice. Like the little coat I have been using for Loki, I had to add little belly extenders. So the Velcro was sticking out, just kind of raw Velcro, you know. At least now it'll be on the little chest thingy, you know. It'll be nicer. So he's such a champ. Like, I just tried it on him last night and he was like, okay, you know. Cricket's gonna love this one in the Molly fabric. I feel like this is the one I'm gonna use a lot. All right, so let me do the neck one now too. Actually, maybe I'll do for this one too. Why I have the black thread? Because you know, it's so hard to change the thread color. That was always Rayanne and I's joke. We would do everything we could with one thread color, and then we'd switch, and we'd be like, you know, it literally takes us 10 seconds to change thread color. Why are we such babies about it? It's like this mental block, you know? All right, I'm gonna cut these for the neck too. Which I don't need as long of a piece. Finally getting an opportunity to use all this 1.5 inch wide elastic. That's nice. It's such a weird width. or elastic Velcro. Oh, dang. That's a good haul, Megan. That is definitely a good haul. There's one. Oh, I actually don't need two of those. I have one and I have one. I just need two of the neck. So I don't need this. That's all. There we go. Two and two. There we go. Right, Sydney? Exactly. You know what I mean. Okay. So I need one of those and I need one of these. He's going to have 3 new coats. And then this one is this one. This one's this one. It's like putting a jacket on a watermelon, man. All right. There's that one. This is all the stuff you have to get like out of the way before you get to do the fun stuff, you know, like assembling it. It's like this is the version of a garment where you're doing like all the like pockets and collars and stuff. We did our collar at least. All right. So now I have 2 of those. Perfect. Oh, I need to do the neck. Of course, of course. Like literally it takes just a second to change it. Yeah, right, Megan, exactly. I mean, on this kind of thing, like putting the thread color on the Velcro, that's something that does kind of bug me. I didn't do it. Oh, I did do it on this one. I didn't do it on something else in my life. I don't remember what it was. And, you know, it's kind of like, meh. So, okay, so this one's a little trickier. I have to do it on this piece. So let's see how this is. So it's this one and this one. I can't do it on one of these, but I can do it on the other. All right. So it's this one. This one will be the hook. No, the loop. The loop, the loop, the loop. The loop always faces towards the body. Just in case. Sometimes I also rush the sewing steps because I'm eager to see how it's going to come together, like what the order of operations is, you know, and I'm not sure how I'm going to address a certain aspect, and so then I kind of just like steamroll ahead, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just do the Velcro later because I want to know how it all comes together first. And I totally did that last night on this one because I wasn't sure how I was going to clean finish the outer edge without binding it. And then, and also because of the little hole, like for the leash to go through. So I ended up just realizing, so I just sewed it, left a hole on the inside here and sewed around the perimeter and pulled it all the way through. I ended up top stitching through where I sewed it. That's why it looks weird right there. Because I top stitched through here, and which meant I had to edge stitch this little hole, which was super awkward, and I didn't set it up properly for that, so it's kind of funky. But, you know, fully washable though, at least. And now I know how I'm gonna set that up. I'm just gonna hem it before I seam it together. There's other probably better ways to do it, but like Megan said, this is dog coat. So, a little stressed about buttons. Well, don't they come with, oh, the extra patterns probably don't come with buttons, but whatever your project will. So that's good. All right, this can go with that one. And these can go here. Oh, and I just stole this from the other one, so let's take this one out and give it to that one. And now I have this, and let me get a visual, and now I need this one. Weirdly, it's the same one, but it's not. Here we go. After this, I'll be able to sew it together. It's hook this time. I'm rounding the corners because this loop is so sharp, or the hook and loop is so sharp, the Velcro. I don't actually know if it's Velcro brand. So, but these can be really, really pointy. I wouldn't want it to point. It's kind of far inside, so I don't have to worry about it too much, but it is kind of a nice touch, you know? But you gotta be careful, like once you trim off the little selvage edge of the Velcro, it shreds, you know? You gotta really make sure you secure it. It's like zipper tape. Zipper tape does that too. Ah! I fell off. I went the wrong way around this thing. There's a line I gotta draw, you know? Just because I don't care it's a dog coat, I can't make it harder for myself to sew, you know? Okay, so now we have that. We have that, and I'm kind of tempted to see if I have at least one square. Maybe I'll cheat and sew the, I'll just do this, and I'll make sure that this is the end. This might not work for me, but we'll see. This one's not even finished yet, so it'll look different than the other. I'll do this maybe, like this. No, I'll do this. I was watching Andrea on SewToFit yesterday, and she was having like a reckoning with all of her works in progress. You know, she was like, "All right," like transparency time, which I thought was really funny. Like she was like, "All right, these are all my unfinished projects," and then she was like, "I'm finishing this one and this one today." That was pretty cool. I'm like, I have a few of those sitting behind me right now. Do you guys have a lot of unfinished projects? And are they just unfinished because you're stuck? Or because you don't like it? Or you don't have time? I mean, there's so many reasons, right? Okay, so I have this right here, right? Okay. And then I have that one. Okay. Just making sure I'm not like sewing this one to the wrong pieces. Look how much wider that is. I never sewed my second set of Caroline pajamas that we cut out in the floral. I think I just ran out of bobbin. Oh no, I didn't. I think I'm gonna make them short sleeved. That's one thing I want. Oh. Oh, okay. Well, maybe you could do something besides that. You've made a couple of the hinterlands, Mullen? Hi, Terry. Hi, Beverly. I didn't even see you guys up there. Sorry. Yeah, right, Beverly? I'm kind of like that too. And it's a very unpopular way to be. People get really mad at us for that. In knitting, I'm even like, if I'm not finishing something, I'll unknit it. I actually sat in the emergency room once when I had sprained my ankle, waiting my turn, and I unknit an entire sweater, an entire finished sweater. And people were just staring at me. I balled it all up. I was like, yep, now it's not an unfinished project. It's yarn waiting to be knitted. I know, Megan, right? Yeah, I feel like he'll be a really good model, right? Homso dog walk. Homso dog walk! Oh, right, Malin. I think 1 or 2 going is okay. Yeah. All those buttons, yeah. That only needs buttons. That's home stretch, but I know. Does it already have the buttonholes? Your Callie? Because that for me is sometimes like, oh, I gotta get going on the buttonholes. I didn't hesitate at all when I did the saffron jeans. I just did it right away. And at the last second, I was like, oh, I'll use pink thread to match the heart, you know. I'm setting that off today. Okay, so let's see. We can switch this from the black thread. I think I got all those. I feel like I missed something or I did something kind of weird just now, and I can't put my finger on it. And I'm not going to lay it all out there. We'll just fix it when we get there. Maybe it's fine. You never know. You never know. Okay. Let go of me. My thread is statically charged, so sometimes when I do like that, a big long stripe, I can't get it off my fingers. You know? It kind of drives me crazy. I'm like, get off me. I think I might run out of bobbins soon. Okay, so here is my tab here. So you get this and you get this. Like that. Here's my collar. Oh, I forgot to put a pocket on here. Shoot. You go there and you go here. But honestly, it goes like, I sewed the Velcro to the stiffener or the batting on each of these, so it's gonna be funny. I'm gonna sew this one without the batting on it. This is how it goes, like that. All right, so I'm going to hem this little hole. It is not the most elegant way to finish it, especially with that little curve. I mean, mainly, maybe I could do a little facing or a piece of bias. What do I have here? What do I have sitting here? Anything? Let's see. Let's see if I have any binding. I'll just do that. Well, that doesn't go at all. Right, like exactly. I hope you finish projects. That's good. Well, these are mine right here, Sydney. I put them in these little bins. Like these are what we're sewing for hearts. This is, I'll explain that in a second. This is the vest. I'm going to make a tamarack vest. This is the zip double I'm sewing after stream. These are pin cushions that need to be stuffed. Here's my mom's purse and her guinea pigs. And those three, there's 3 more bins over there. Those are all for the, they're all patterns. I don't label the bins. Like, I don't go like that. But even if you made like a big clear envelope, like a big clear bag, like with vinyl scraps, or use those bags that sheets come in with the zippers, something where you can see it and you can kind of stack them or kind of file them away. I feel like that helps kind of keep them in view. And then you're like, oh yeah. And then sometimes there's just that moment you're not into whatever you're doing, and then you look at it and you're like, I'm gonna do that right now, and you just grab it and go, you know? I feel like that's kind of what's worked for me. And, you know, when I had the factory, we lived the bin life. Like, I have these bins. You get them at Target. Every time it's near back to school time, like in August, those bins come out and they're really cheap. They're like $2 or $3. And what I did was I taped a piece of clear vinyl. None of those have it. I just taped a piece of clear vinyl to the front, like a little pocket, and we would put like the 2 letters of the product we sewed in there. I had big metal Gorilla shelves, and those bins all fit, and I had the shelves like the right height so that they all fit. And I have I think I have 40 of them empty in my closet here. I think I have 25 of them empty at my house right now. I've given my parents them. I'm swimming in those things now. These right here, there's 3, 6, 9. I think there's 12 of them right there, and all but 2 are empty. So, yeah, there you go, Terry. Yeah, so I think like what works for your setup, like your space, is what's key, right? Because you don't really, not all of us have the space to have shelves and bins, you know? So, and I think like now that I feel like, okay, I'm definitely moved on from chicken boots, I feel more comfortable getting rid of those. So I'm probably going to have some sort of like craft yard sale at some point in the near future, because I feel like there's people that could be using some of these things, and I don't need them, and I don't need to make money from them. I got my money's worth. I got my use out of them, and it would just free up space and get those things used, right? I'm going to push this binding to the inside of the garment because I want a nice clear hole. I don't want it to be small, and I'm going to have to clip this to do that. This is kind of on the fly. I will say like my favorite way that I ever have had to store my projects is in this one house I lived in before I moved here. The couple was really into gardening, and they had built this 400 square foot freestanding little building behind the house. And so it was insulated, and it had windows on 3 sides, like halfway up. So it was really bright, which is great in Humboldt because it's very cloudy there. And then the bottom half, all the way around 3 sides. This is the ideal studio for me, I found. It was a countertop and drawers. There were 86 drawers in that shop. 86, you guys. I counted them. And they were like, the bottom row had a big drawer, and then there were 3 about this size, and then there was one that was smaller at the top. And I took and I actually didn't label those drawers. I actually got to know them really, really well. And then the back wall of the studio was the middle of it had a door to go in. To the right, there was a wood stove. And to the left is where I put my 3 machines, right in the corner. It was perfect. And so those drawers were great. I stored everything in there. And in the middle of the room, I put that table I have behind me there. I had 2 of those back to back. So they were freestanding in the middle so I could walk all the way around it. So, hi, Andrea. How's it going? Aw. You have a 3-year-old on your lap. Sleeping? Don't worry, I don't cuss. How did your stream go yesterday? Did you get some stuff done? Did you get some of your works in progress done? I'm just kind of like winging it, sewing this dog bed right now. In fact, I think I just got myself into a little corner there by clipping off my binding. I just want the opening to be really clear though. That looks pretty good though. Mine used to be my son's card. It was full. He has 6 sets. What are calyx shelves? Oh, okay, Sydney. A few of those Jingzai drawer bins that comes with 3. Here, air fryer. Oh, sorry to hear that. I don't use magnets anywhere near my pins, but that might be a moment I would look for a pin. Do I need to put my label on this, Megan, you think? Maybe I'll put it at the, I don't know where I'm gonna put it. I'm obviously not narcissistic enough. Even though I made my label look like me. All right, so now I have this little opening here. So let's just sew the center back seam. I literally just laid my fabric on top of the batting and cut around it, so don't judge me. Here we go. All right, let's see how it looks on the side. Here we go. That works pretty darn good. And I'm gonna top stitch this down. Okay, so there is actually a flaw with this idea that I just did. And it is that the hole, dang it, you guys. I just overdid that. The hole is now gonna be above another hole just like it and not connected. So I should have done this to the hole when they were together. Emmeline, true. Yeah, it is sew to fit. Let's see. I'll show you. So I have a little pug and he gets cold. So I made a little, this is my sample I made yesterday. Yikes. There's a lot of Velcro sitting here, so I need to be careful here. This can go up there. This is right here. This is right here. So yeah, so I actually used a quilting technique and pieced together. It's really hard to tell. They're so messy, but they're these little like windmills. And then it's very scrappy. I used all my flannel scraps. So yeah, here's this little belly strap. I don't know why I just said Lily, little, because there's nothing little. Hi Esther, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. There's this little chest strap. And then there's a little hole, which I edge stitched, I kind of did on the fly. So yeah, and this, I have a little Sheba and I have a pug, and this is a Sheba. I just figured out how this fabric would be perfect. So I just cut it out on the fly. So, but I'm just realizing like this, I really, you know, I wonder if I could take out the top stitching. No. Do you guys see what happened here? See, because now I need to finish the hole on this one, and I would have 2 holes sitting there just like this on top of each other, not connected. So that was my bad. See, I over-engineered that just now on the fly. Bad. I'm gonna take it out, you guys. Sorry. I want this one to look the best because it's cuter. Well, no, I copied a pattern that I had because someone gave him this ridiculous little coat that looks like a 70s motorcycle jacket. It's like fake sheepskin with the shearling. And yeah, people comment on it because he looks ridiculous in it. I already feel kind of ridiculous owning a pug, even though I'm totally sold on their personalities. Like, I am a convert, but I'm getting used to it, you know. So I feel funny that I'm that person with a pug, and now I'm that person with a pug with a coat, because he actually gets cold and he needs me to hold him. They're not very good at regulating their body temperature. I need to stop rushing trying to remove the seam. I'm making it worse on myself. There we go. All right, so I have another idea I'm gonna do. I have another idea. So how did your thing go yesterday, Andrea? Did you get all your things done? I had to leave unexpectedly. My daughter showed up. So, but she brought me C's. So that was nice. What about lighting? Wait. Oh, you mean in that studio, Megan? Wait, what'd you ask that about? And then what about the chest? And yeah, Happy New Year to you too. And happy February. I feel like it's totally okay to say Happy New Year for a while. I mean, it's kind of the new year. Isn't it weird though? The first few months go by so quick. You know? And then but then like in the middle it's like, is it going by quick? I don't know. Like, why did the first few months go by quick? You know? It's kind of weird. Time is such a weird thing. I'm very like, I actually really like teenagers and stuff. Like, I worked with them at this high school and it really shifted my worry and fear about them. I really, really love hanging out with them and hearing, or just being in the same room and hearing them talk with each other, you know. And I just really like that. I actually looked forward to my daughter becoming a teenager because of it, because it's kind of a really interesting time. They feel invincible. They're inspired, some of them, you know, to like go and do something, and they just don't have that kind of, you know, they're not jaded as much yet, right? I mean, I feel like cell phones are definitely not helping that as much as it could be anymore. But when I was teaching there, you know, not even all of them had cell phones. But I was reading the same books they were, and they were reading books, a lot of them, you know. So I really like all ages, but it is weird how time will go by. And now I'm friends with some of those students now, and I'm like, what? You're how old? You know? So that's good. I'm glad it went well. I'm entered. Really? What am I gonna win? Is it someone to seam rip all my seams? They would stay busy. I'm sorry, guys, that I've decided to do this, but I want this to be a little nice. This one a little nicer. All right, so we can just take this out. I'm just gonna take this out so it's a little easier to handle. Like that. All right. I think I will do the binding finish, but I'm going to do it when I have it all complete. So. Oh, cool. You have do you sell patterns? You are just amazing. Do you sell patterns? Or is it for one of your Patreon things? That's pretty cool. I'll have to sew one of your patterns. Oh, wait. Are you wait, I'm so confused right now. Do you have a pattern company? Now I need more clarification. Home stretch, I promise. This Ashiba fabric is so interesting. Can you see the texture of it? Oh, I have the autofocus off. It's kind of slubby. It's cool. It's actually, you know, it could be considered garment weight. It's not very boardy at all. It's not like typical little like prints you see like this, the Japanese coca prints and things. It's got more fluidity in the fabric, you know? Oh, that's really cool. Ah, put the label in the chest area. Okay. Okay, phew. Never again. All right, so I don't think it'll be easier to bind it that way. I just think it'll look better. I think it'll actually be kind of harder to bind it this way that I'm gonna do it, but I am up for the challenge. Bring it. You know me and binding, I am down for it, so. But yeah, that got a little shredded right there. And I clipped it too, so yikes. I learn something new about you every time, Andrea. Hi, Nancy. See, I knew it would summon Nancy using my seam ripper. No, don't chuck your project. I hate to admit it, but I kind of like seam ripping. I mean, there's times I don't like it. But it is a magical object. Object. Why does that word sound weird right now? Doesn't it sound like it should have a T at the end? Object. No, it needs a T. Okay, so let's do this one now. Just, you know, winging a dog coat and making it so I don't have to bind it, which I would like to bind it, but I'm not going to bind it. I think I'm going to bind the other one though, the perimeter of it. And then I will actually be able to sew the hole completely differently. Oh no, I don't want that here. I need to leave a little hole here. I'm gonna pull the whole coat through the underside here. I'm just gonna take out a few stitches. This is what happens when you're not using an actual pattern. What do you mean overachiever? I'm definitely an overachiever. About some things, about a lot of things, but not everything. Nancy, I love your speech to text. Between Megan's honesty and your speech to text, man. Keeping me on my toes. I almost did it again. I don't think that's a big enough hole, but hey. Look at how badly this is lined up. Don't look, actually. All right. Now I'm going to put the collar on here so I don't forget the collar this time. I kind of want to top stitch this, you know. I'm gonna stitch my collar together because it's a little thick, you know. I'm gonna start from the center back and go out. Is the center still the center? It looks like it. Well, that's amazing. I wonder if Molly's gonna be like, you know, I was trying to remember if it is. I feel like it is too. It's either from Hearts or Stone Mountain and Daughter. So I have to come. I want to see what were you trying to say? I have come to love my singing river as well. Oh, you've come to love your seam ripper as well. See, if you say it out loud, it makes sense. Yeah, she uses speech to text in the chat. Isn't that amazing? I tap my finger. All right, so let's tack this collar on here. And because I didn't put an end collar point, I'm going to nip it now. And even if it doesn't end there, at least I want it to be in the same spot on both sides. So that's my plan. Okay. So do I top stitch this now? The reason I'm not wanting to is because I kind of want to go through all layers. So I'm gonna wait. All right, so we're gonna just tack this collar down so I don't forget it this time. This ridiculous little collar. This is so classic me, where I'm like, I'm just gonna make a dog coat. It's gonna be really easy. And it's gonna be so easy, I'm gonna cut out 2, and I'm gonna cut out 50 billion pieces of fabric and piece them together into some quilting technique that I've only done once. And now I'm realizing, oh, you know, I need a few extra things for this project. Maybe I should do a sample and just see how it goes so I know how long this takes. Maybe I should prep some of these pieces. Maybe I should just finish one and see if it fits before I go any further. Oh, right, I need an interlining. Oh, there's this other cute fabric. That would be much cuter as a dog coat. I'm gonna cut that one out. Well, now I already have 2 to sew for the stream, so I better finish this other one. That was all that happened between Thursday at 2 and this morning. You know? It ain't pretty in my mind sometimes, you know? It's a little bit of a ramble. All right, so now we have our... I put on the belly strap at the end so it goes through all the layers. And you're saying the label, maybe I could put it like right here, you're thinking? I don't know, Megan, that's kind of weird. That's just kind of a little too much for me. I don't know. But maybe I could put it here. But I think, maybe I'll put it here. And I'm going to stitch it down. That's what I'm going to do. It might get stitched again, actually. Probably isn't the best place to put it, but hey, it's in there now. Like that. No! Just caught my project. See, I'm totally out of sorts today. I'm having so much streaming troubles, Andrea, too. Like, when I press go live, nothing happens on my encoder on Streamlabs. Like nothing happens. I click it, nothing happens. And so I have to every time now log out, log back in, reset up configure the cameras and stuff, activate them. And then it works, but it's doing something different and it's only streaming to YouTube and not Twitch. And so I've been doing support for the last couple days because we're all sick of it. And it's crashed a couple times. And it comes back, but then everybody has to find where we are again. I have to find it too. Right, Sydney, I know, huh? All right, so let's just clip this in a few spots. Just put a few spots here so that I get it lined up. I think I might, once I have this like weird streaming hiccup thing sorted, or at least I feel like it's sorted, I might try and switch out one of my cameras. What encoder do you use now? I don't know if I want to learn something new, you know? I haven't tried Restream. I was using Mob Crush. I I didn't see Restream as an option, but I'm not sure if that's one that's compatible with Streamlabs. Maybe that's the thing. So, all right, so this is my little hole. I'm gonna pull it all through. I just have the belly strap. I got the collar on there. Well, let's do this. I kind of like Megan was right. She's like, that fabric's going to give you a problem. And I just didn't realize how stretchy it was. I didn't remember that. Like, look at that, how much it grew right there. Like, that's where the fabric is, way down there. The one thing I liked that, you know, in other cases it wouldn't really work. But in this case, I kind of like it. And I like how it kind of sneaks out under the sides right here, these edges. I like that kind of look. It looks kind of cozy. So I'm going to let that happen. I'm not like trying to make it pull out, but I will allow that. I have to keep lifting up my presser foot because this is kind of stretchy. Ecamm. Oh, that's right. You're on Mac. Oh, it takes too much CPU. Oh. So this, I had to move to a system where this computer, this is all it does. And it's basically because I need to use my computer so much for other things. And having it in the middle of this island where all my things are around it. And I have like my computer on a, essentially a Lazy Susan for TVs. So I just rotate my computer, my streaming thing, to face my pattern table or my home machine or my iron. And so it's like this little carousel. So I am paying attention. I put my label on there. So I had to have a dedicated computer, so I don't think I'm having like a usage issue, but it is weird. Like we were getting a error the other day where it was saying you need to be connected to the internet, and I was like, what do you mean I'm not connected to the internet? Like I'm literally on YouTube site looking at my stream, about to go live, you know, like it was counting down. So, but what I miss about Mobcrush is there's a unified chat window, and it's just a chat window, and I really like that. It was clean. Am I in there? Oh, here we go. I'm going to do this from this side now. That little collar makes it a little funny. I can feel it pulling because of the roll. It's so thick in there. Thanks for subscribing, Pravashni. Welcome. All right, so I pretty much only need to clip this curve here along the neckline. The other curves are no big deal. It's just these interior curves. So I'm gonna trim this a little bit better. My quick and dirty dog coats, because trust me, they're gonna get dirty. I was trying to hide the caked mud on the one I was showing you guys the other day that I made the pattern from. There was some, I had just washed it though and then used it, and you know, when your undercarriage is a few inches off the ground. Hopefully my dog coat's at least symmetrical. I don't know though. All right, so let's turn it. I got my like YouTube thing stats, and you know, I'm always surprised when it says how many people have subscribed during the month, because I'm like, really that many? But then I started doing the math. I'm like, it just takes a couple a day, you know? So that's cool. I think I want to set up a goal for myself this year. I probably should do that since we're already into the second month of the year. The year's almost like, what, 9% done? To be exact. Okay. Aw, his little collar. Goofy. I sometimes flip the collar up on him to keep him warmer too, you know? My tried and true chopstick. At least I matched the stripes, meaning the little dog rows, huh? I remember thinking about doing it, but I didn't double check that I had. All right. Oh, brother. All right, so I think I'm going to top stitch around the perimeter, get it a little more stable. I can close. I closed this with a machine last time by just sewing it shut. Maybe this time I don't know. Do I feel confident enough to like stitch straight down? I could hand sew it, but that seems a little excessive. The last time I just pinched it shut and stitched it. My label kind of prevents a little bit of that. I'm gonna bind this hole here where the collar goes. So yeah, I think it's good. I think it's gonna be cute. And then I have the belly straps, which I still need to sew, right? Those are somewhere around here. We just had them. Are they right here? No, these are these. We literally just sewed them. Oh, they're on the, I always do this when you guys aren't looking. If I tilt too far in these chairs, have you ever seen these sewing chairs? These? Have you ever seen those? So they are great for sewing machines because the front is like this. It's not like a office chair. And for me, because I have a foot pedal on the machine, those office chairs, one leg sometimes will get stuck under the foot pedal and it'll start sewing. And so you have to be really careful with those. And so I got these sewing chairs, but the seat pan is super shallow. And so sometimes I'll lean forward and the whole thing will, and same thing, I'll sit down in it and it'll fall backwards. And I just told someone yesterday, I've never fallen in my chair on camera. I almost changed that today. So, oh, I have a little spot right there. I'm gonna fix this right here. I can see something. So anyway, But my straps are on this shelf on there. I can see them. I missed a little bit here. Where is it? Right there, right there. It's like barely in there. So let's make that seam allowance. See right there. There it is. Okay. See, this is why it pays to just cut things out accurately. I know, right, Nancy? Exactly. I know, it would totally be hilarious. It would be a great for everybody but me. You need a dog coat, Megan? I thought you weren't into this idea. There is, I just saw a really cute poodle print. I think the poodle looked mostly like a standard poodle in the fabric print, but you could totally find something on Spoonflower. Next year, I'll make nicer ones. Start the season off right for little Loki, you know? There we go. Okay. All right, so I need to figure out this. And I think I'm just gonna edge stitch it shut once I have my binding done. So let's look at this. You know, I'm tempted to see if I can pull. I can't though. Yeah, I can't. Yeah. See, on the other one, what I did was I just tucked it under and edge stitched it. But I really think doing the binding thing is gonna be, it's gonna be harder, but it's gonna look nicer. And on the coat I had, they sewed a little square piece of fabric, right sides together on this side, and then poked it through. You know, that's actually not a bad idea. And then if I stitch it down, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I really liked the way the binding looked, but that hole is just so small. Let's see here. Let's do this. All right. Let's see. I feel like it's gonna be like that. So let's see. I hate cutting dog faces. Doesn't even matter because I'm gonna sew right through it. All right, I'm gonna get another piece of fabric now. I want something to stabilize it. Okay. I think I'm going to iron the edges down. This, like in theory, seems like a great idea, but I think it's going to be tricky as well. You know? I'm going to iron the edges down. Oh, did you guys see? I figured out how to do transitions in my... I don't know why it took me so long to do that. But like when I click the camera, it's not so abrupt now. Oh, and your sister's dog in November. Oh, okay. I try and remember and keep track of things. Oh, the autofocus is on, huh? See, when I log back in and back out, it changes my camera settings. And this is why I turn off autofocus. Let's raise the sharpness. There we go. I'm just going to get this ready to top stitch down, because once I have it on the little coat, it'll probably be really hard. This just might give me a little bit of make it a little easier. This is the thing, when you're sewing something new, you're figuring out all this stuff, and even the second prototype doesn't really, it's not like totally sorted out. And it's kind of similar, even if you're sewing something that has been tested and tried and true, and you're using a pattern company, it's still new to you, Same idea. All right, so let's try and figure out what this hole is going to be like. Sorry, little guy. Okay. it's a facing for the hole for the leash. But I did forget to put a pocket on it, and I was going to. Hi, Louise. Good evening. How are you? Okay, so I got all my layers. I hope I got all my layers there. I did a trial yesterday, but it still has some funny things I'm trying to figure out, especially because it just depends on what fabrics I'm using. Okay, I got it all though. Because I made one that was kind of scrappy using like flannel scraps with my in a quilting technique. And I'm gonna do another one like that, but then I remembered I have this cute dog fabric, which is literally looks like one of my dogs, so. It's Loki's version of saying, I'm with her, Yeah, I kind of am. I'm gonna make another one, but you guys don't have to hang out for it. It's gonna be a little scrappier. I'm gonna at least do part of it and that quilting technique. I'm just kind of trimming this to make this turn, because these kinds of holes never turn very well. They're notoriously hard to get turned and flat. I'm going to treat this like a buttonhole. It's going to nick away a little bit here and there. Like that. Okay, so also this is a curve that I'd have to clip a little bit. Let's get rid of some of it too. Why not? This hole is going to be so much easier to put the leash through than the one we have. So that'll be nice, because it's kind of a pain to feel it. especially because he's going crazy. He's so excited. He's a wiggly little guy. It's always hard to get this nice and flat. All right, not bad. So mine looks like this, but they didn't stitch it down. It's kind of weird, you know? It's very cheap. All right. All right. My husband comes home on Monday. I don't know when though. I'm assuming late at night. But you never know. Like those European flights sometimes he will get back in the morning. So, well, I did pre-iron the edges to fold under easily. So that's helping. It looks good on this side. Let's hope it looks good on the side that's going to show. I got one little dog face there. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I like that solution. Let's get rid of this. All right, now I'm going to stitch through here. Just a little, I kind of want to hand stitch that, but it's a dog coat. I'm wondering if I can top stitch it from the other side. My feeling is probably not, because I don't think it's going to line up with the outer seam, you know? But let's see. Oops, lost the pin. So, because this seam right here, oh, that's not bad. Oh. Let's do it. Okay. All right, everything stayed like that. Okay, I'm gonna let this little fleecy edge kind of poke out. One thing I noticed is that this little edge here got a little stretched out when I was sewing it. So that might be something I would work on if I made a few more of these. Like maybe make it, either dart it so that when it gets stretched out, because this is kind of, this little curve kind of stretches out too, you know? So it's looking cute. All right, I'm gonna kind of push the seam towards the neck so that maybe it helps it. Okay, it's really thick right there. All right. Hey, that worked pretty good for not hand sewing it. you know? Okay. Okay, the collar does seem like it will stay down, which that's good. I just need the belly flap, but I have to go over here to grab them. No matter how organized my setup is, there's always something. There's nothing like recording a video and you're almost done and you drop something on the ground. Or your bobbin runs out and you're like, wow, I gotta start all over again, because it's like the way it happens doesn't let you start that step over and edit it out and just pretend like you're carrying on. Jeez, man. All right, one more. See, I start getting that buckling, so I'm going to start on this side now. Counter it a little bit. Take out a few stitches here. It's weird how that always works. You can even feel it about to do it, and then it does it. Yeah, I mean, I think there's arguments to both, Nancy. I think most people would rather it be edited. I've had people comment and say, you need to edit this down. So I think a lot of people would rather it be really short and really quick. But the thing is, it's like, it's just not what we do here, you know? And if I did that and I cut out something that maybe that's what they needed to see, like everybody else, you know, in the sewist's eyes, they think, oh, everyone knows how to do this part and I'm just going to skip to this, or just not even show me how I iron it or whatever. And then the person's going to say, you know, I really wish you would show all the steps, you know? So it's like, you really can't win. But at least with this, you can fast forward, you know? And I think I could probably do better to say, sew along with me, you know? And then that way, if I make a mistake and I'm a little ahead of you, you're going to be like, oh, I'm not going to make that mistake. And also, it gives you time to kind of do it, right? But it also, I think showing how long it takes to make something, I think it probably dissuades people from making it. And I'm not slow. So, yeah, exactly. One brown paw. He's black with one brown paw, the poodle. Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, when I do like a little technique, and I know I could do more of those, I want those to be short too. In fact, for years, I would tell knitters, like at a show that I would meet or whatever, and I wasn't there I'm not a knitting designer, right? So I'm not there for that. But when someone would say, oh, I really wish blah, 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 I'm like, you know, here's my tip. I just go to YouTube. I Google that technique. I look for the shortest one that doesn't have like a ton of thumbs downs. You know what I mean? And then I don't care if it has a few thumbs downs, because that's just probably their competition, or just someone, you know, like I see my videos getting thumbs downs and I'm like, I mean, yeah, that's going to happen, you know. That doesn't bug me. It's more like if there's a lot of them, then I'm like, eh, or the lighting looks bad. But I always say, look for the shortest one you can find. Unless you really, really need like a really step one, then you search for that one, you know. So, yeah, Nancy, I know I have a few. I need to add to it. Oh, that's great to hear, PA. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, sewing is not itself very quick, right, Terry? Yeah. Trolls, yeah. I know. And I'll bet some folks come and they watch me and then they're mad that I make a mistake, and maybe they were following along and they made the same mistake, and so they're just like, gosh darn it, and they thumbs down it. I can understand that frustration. Like, yeah, why not, right? But thumbs downs and thumbs ups don't do anything to hurt my channel, except for people may be wary of looking at something if they don't see a lot of thumbs ups or thumbs downs. You know, that's the only thing. It doesn't change my how I come into the algorithm. Yeah, exactly, Louise. It's rare that I give a thumbs down, but it's usually like I have definitely seen my share of videos, and they weren't sewing related. It wasn't anyone. I've never thumbs down a sewing one. Where they say the title is the thing they're going to tell me, and then at the end they're like, I actually don't know how to do this, so if anyone in the comments knows how to do it, please leave me a like and tell me how to do it. I'm like, seriously? Then I'm like, nope. And so when I see a video that has a lot of thumbs downs, then I'm like, oh, that's not trolls. Yeah. Yeah, right, Nancy? Totally. Yeah. Oh, you do, Raquel? Yeah. I think that's good. Like, I don't watch a ton of sewing videos just because I don't have the time. And I'm usually doing 3 things at once on my computer, you know? And so I can't really pay attention. Like, I try and watch Andrea when she's live, because Fridays I'm sitting there and it's perfect timing. And I like to chat in her chat, because I always appreciate when people are chatting in my chat, especially with each other. So I like doing that. And I like just chatting with people. I feel a little weird about it because I don't want them to think I'm trying to promote me, though. You know, I just like meeting other sewists. But I've been doing it more often where, like, I watched the Tomcat Stitchery one while I was cooking, and that was kind of nice. You know, I kind of liked doing that. You know, I think I would do that more often, because I don't really need to know what she's doing or how she's doing it. I just like hearing how she talks and what she's doing, and I like seeing her camera angles, and I learn something new usually. So that's kind of fun, you know. Okay, wait, I want this here. But, you know, it's funny, like, I really want to support other sewists that do videos. But on the other hand, like, I want to look at my hobby stuff on YouTube. Sewing is not my hobby. So, you know, but I still want to support other sewists. So it's funny because I was feeling kind of bad that I don't watch more sewing videos, and I realized it's not my hobby. So it's not the thing I look for, you know? I'm usually watching, like, little 20-something-year-olds and their influencing channels, and they're talking about how to do something on YouTube, like how to configure their ads, you know, and then I'm like, wow, this is what I'm doing, you know. I don't want to watch that video, but I do because I want to learn. So yeah, I know the chat really, being able to chat with people, why is that so off center? What did I just do? Same. I feel like that's a big part of live streams is that the chat. Yeah, I made this one last night, Louise. I've kind of just needed to sew. I wanted to sew all my little scrappy pieces together, see how long that took. And I'm going to make one more that's scrappy in a different technique. And then I was like, I should just finish this and see what it's like and how it fits him. Because I started realizing there was a couple things I hadn't thought through. So that's why. All right. I just made this one on my own, though. Now I'm using it as my template. I fit it to Loki last night. And then I finished sewing these on this morning so that I'd have them as a placement. But right now I'm kind of failing to think clearly, which is kind of embarrassing. So let's see here. Think clearly. Focus, 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 focus. Okay, this needs to go up a little bit. Like that. Okay, that one looked okay. It's this one over here that looked a little too far a different way. Yeah, so it needs to go a little bit like that. All right. There we go. And so now I need it to go right here. So it'll end up being like that. And then when I sewed this on here, I kind of squished this together like this so that this little end would get completely hidden under my tab when I folded it that way and top stitched it down. I apparently did not trim that very straight. Who, me? All right. There's one. A little thick, huh? Get it straight like this. And I put that little pin where I want the seam to go. Pinch it together. I had some drill holes on the pattern. But I felt like it would be smarter to put it on Loki because that little jacket was, I had added the Velcro to it. And so, I was thinking maybe I could even position it better than that, so that's why I left it available. So, trim it down a little bit, try and encase it in there. Yeah! Home so dog walk. Is that crooked? The heck? Is that crooked? It kind of looks crooked when I look at it like this. But not when I look at it across. So maybe it's optical illusion and I'll just try and beat it into submission a little bit. Make my stitch length a little longer. Here we go. One Loki. Aw. Look at that belly, man. It's quite a belly. Very cute. All right. Time is up. Okay, 12:40. I like how this hole turned out too. That's way easier to deal with than the one I had. And then this one is edge stitched. That one looks more professional as well. You know, going for that vibe sometimes. All right, so I'm just gonna piece together my little pieces just for a little bit. I don't think I'll get to finishing that one. I know I won't. But at least maybe I'll get the fabric done for it. And then that way I'm ready to sew one more for him. So I sewed a bunch of my squares together that we cut together the other day. This is my Velcro tab. That's funny. Well, that probably goes there. This goes, right? Wait, was it here? I'm trying to find the one it went to. I think it went here, actually. And this went there. All right. So this is what I did. This is the first step was to, so I remember I had my squares like this, and I took one and I put it to the bottom like this. And then I sew them together, and they're going to be a little off because you cut the squares so there's no seam allowance built in. And then I kind of stack them methodically, you know. Yeah, he's totally fine with wearing it, Nancy. Like when I put that one on him last night, he was like, okay. So funny. He is fine with anything. I take him to the vet and he's just like, you're gonna do what? Okay, let's do it. You know, like, you're gonna inspect me? Okay. Whereas Molly's sitting there like this, quivering while she's just being like petted and like inspected a little bit, you know? She's thinking, oh my God, my life's over. And then they take them to the back room to do their little shots, and she got a microchip. And, you know, he's like, okay, let's go. And she's like, nope. I'm not leaving my human. I just left this one stack to sew. This fabric right here, the one I made the toaster sweater, is definitely a little bit synthetic because when I went to iron it, it felt like the heat was a little hot for it. All right, so now I'm gonna go to the iron. That transition looks so nice. It's not so abrupt now. Your dog's name is Peanut? Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I feel like I know someone with a dog named Peanut. Huh. It's not the So Positivity gal, right? No. Hers is named ooh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Walter? My friend Maria, she's another mod on this channel, and occasionally she comes, she's a needle runs through it. She just got 2 pug puppies. They're young too. Alright, so I do this first. And then we cut them again. You don't cut them again with the one I did with the one I did for the winter coat. This one here. That's more of like a little like petal shape, and then you just sew the squares together. This is an extra step here. So you stack them all. And you do it like that. And you do the same thing. I feel like I could use a bigger, it's getting a little thick. And you do the same thing. And then you move it. Okay, so then those will get sewn. So it's a little bit tedious, but it's also a little mindless. I already ironed all these. You just move that one to the bottom. Wait, I think this goes like this. So I learned when I did the that winter one right there that I needed 10 extra squares. And so I just made those really quick. So I already actually added 10 extra squares to these just in case. Because these are probably going to get small as well. Those got small because there's 2 seams down the middle. These will get small as well, because there's 2 seams on these as well. Okay, so I'll put these on my table. I hope. This is kind of satisfying though. It really makes your scraps kind of look cohesive. I almost made Loki a one out of this fabric here, but I thought, oh, what if my husband's wearing the shirt I made him and Loki's wearing his jacket? I'm gonna set that right there. I learned that doing this, just be methodical. Keeping my stacks together kind of helps in the end, because then I don't have so many that don't really go together. So this one I cheated on. And then when I got to the point where I needed to create the fabric, I just laid the pattern pieces out on top to see what I needed and what I was shy. And then I just sewed them together in the shape, and then I cut out the pattern pieces on top of the fabric I made. I know I'm stating the obvious, but in a way, you just never know what's going to happen. That toaster sweater fabric is thick. All right. That would be some matchy-matchy. Hey, Ray, how's it going? Nice to see you. See that transition? It's just like nice and soft. Oh, look at that. Is my camera frozen? My camera's frozen. There we go. We haven't had that happen. I don't know whether to be happy about that or not. Was it frozen earlier? I'll put these all on here. I don't need to keep them in their little stacks once I do this step. So. And I'll press these and I'll put my square piece of paper, I think that was about the size they end up being, on top, and then I'll get a square that size. So hello, R. Ross, welcome. Thanks for subscribing. This is kind of an unconventional project for me today. This is definitely a personal project. But we're still talking sewing, right? Yeah, Nancy, I was trying to make myself use it correctly the other day because I kept picking everything up and moving it rather than spinning the mat. And I bought it for that class, which I know is a little decadent to do, but I wanted to make sure I had everything I needed. And it did. They were just like, this thing is really helpful, recommend it. And I didn't really use it to its full measure, and so I really want to make sure I use it correctly now, you know? So I got really the hang of using it the other day, and I will when I cut the square out. You know, sometimes you gotta force yourself to kind of do it, and then if it doesn't take hold, then maybe it's not the technique or gizmo for you, you know? But some of them, I know it's just a matter of changing my habit You know, like Wonder Clips are a really good example. I think they're awesome. They're just not my natural thing to use. But lately I've been gravitating towards using them, you know, and because of certain areas, and I'm finding my pins to be a little fussy. So it's kind of funny how it's kind of been a natural progression for me, you know? Yeah, right. It is a good excuse. I'm making a dog coat, but so I've made two, and I made this one. We just finished this one. And now I'm making fabric to make another one, kind of like how I did here. So I cut a bunch of squares, and then I cut 2 lines in the squares. I took the center one, put it to the bottom so that they would be kind of mismatched. I sewed them up, cut them out in squares, sewed the squares together. So it was definitely scrappy. And then at the last second, I was like, you know what? This fabric is great as a dog coat as well. And so I made the one with the dog print on it. And I made that one first today. So that's the only one I've sewn on camera today. The like wintry scrappy one I made yesterday. I've been on the help support site thingy for my stream a lot, and so I've been kind of had to be handy near the streaming computer. So I use it as an excuse to research, like, okay, how long is this scrappy technique I've set myself up to do? Because I'm not a quilter, you know. So yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, I've been to Loop Louise in London. I've been there. The owner was really lovely. The staff was really rude. But the owner was really nice. And then she left for the day. And the staff was barely nice. But that store is adorable. I got their, like, the yarn that they had made for them because I wanted something specific to them. So, yeah, right, Louise? Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I am trying to do more, take, you know, slow sewing projects and just try something new, do something different. This isn't my bag, you guys. You know that. I'm not a quilter. This isn't something I normally do. But I do feel like doing something different kind of, it's so cliche to say it, but it might bring about something else. There's something that is making me itch with this project, though, and I think it's the cutting all the flannel fiber. So yeah, it's just something to do. I needed kind of a totally out of the box project because I'm so entrenched with getting the pattern ready and dealing with the stream issue. I wish I could stream to Twitch. I'm so sad about that. I love how different all these look. Look at that one, has 2 of that, which I'm wearing. Oh, really? I didn't speak much with her, but she was very nice. The thing was like, I mean, I shouldn't be so hard on the staff, but the thing was, because I was there visiting, I took an Uber there. Very first time ever taking an Uber in my life, and it was in London, to that yarn store. And that yarn store is in a really weird spot because it's in an alley behind the like main drag. You have to like go in this weird little area. So even the Uber driver was like, where is this place, you know? Well, the other thing was, because I'm traveling another country, my phone is kind of working a little harder because of the data and geolocation, and I was needing to use it. And I couldn't just like turn it off because my family was there too and they were somewhere else. And so my phone battery wasn't lasting as long. And when I needed to leave, my phone suddenly died. And I'm usually really good about managing that and preventing it from happening. And I was really embarrassed by that. But I couldn't leave. I couldn't let my husband know. He didn't have a car. I couldn't call an Uber. Summon an Uber, for lack of a better word, because I didn't have, my phone died. And so I just asked them really nicely. I was like, do you mind if I use an outlet to plug in my phone? And they let me, but you could tell it was It was awkward. All right, now see, this is awkward. Look at this. So if I do this one to this one, did I not switch this pile? Did I just sew all these together? No. Like if I go here, I get this. If I go here, I get that. Oh, well. So. Awesome, Malin. You're going to have to visit Louise. If you're in that, well, it's kind of in that area, but I did a street art tour. If you're into that kind of thing, it was amazing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a black cab exactly would have done that. And I actually really like the black cab drivers better. It was just one of those things where I was just off on my own, you know. It was like my third day, so I've been to London a lot, but you know, I usually just like walk and do stuff that way. Yeah, so there's a street art tour that I really loved, Malin. It was amazing. One of my favorite things I've ever done traveling. It doesn't beat the Shire. I went to the Shire in New Zealand, and that, hands down, one of my favorite things I've ever done. Even if you're not a Lord of the Rings fan, it was pretty cool. But I am a fan. But of course, all the Harry Potter stuff I've done in London, the studio tour, I've, you know, been to Edinburgh 3 or 4 times and visited the graveyard there, the elephant coffee shop. I've done all that. Okay. Are you going for fun, Malin? That'll be a nice trip. I don't think I did to any sewing stores. Oh, guys, 10 minutes and then it's over it, really? Well, you know, honestly, I was kind of into the knitting thing then. See, I've been a sewist a really long time. And so it's just not something I think of doing when I'm traveling. It's just my work, you know? So that'll be cool. I think I'm really bad about planning time off and trips, and I think I need to do that a bit this year. And, you know, my daughter's graduating high school, so I kind of want to allow some time for that, for just whatever it ends up being that I do, you know? I only have one more little pile after this. See, it doesn't go that slow. But I'm only making a dog coat. Can you imagine doing this for a queen size quilt? But the squares are bigger. Like with the instructions in the book, probably starts out as an 8-inch square. And I started out with, what was that little ruler? Like 5. So, you know, because I knew 8 inches would be, it just wouldn't look right on a small dog coat. So, oh, cool, Malin. Well, if you need any tips for that. I haven't been to King's Cross since the books came out. My husband has for me. But I have been to the studio tour, which I highly recommend. It was amazing. But, you know, the studio tour is movie-based, so that's different. If you're a really big book fan, it might not be for you, you know? But if you were to do one thing Harry Potter-ish, I hazard to say it would be, what I would recommend is visiting Mina Lima. Mina Lima is the creative folks behind creating all of the art and all the graphic type stuff you see in the movies. Like everything from the Owl to the Daily Prophet to you know, all of the Weasley Wizard Wheezes packaging for Fred and George, to, I mean, like everything in Diagon Alley, all the signs, everything you see is created by this man and this woman, and their company's called Mina Lima, and they sell it all. So it's very cool. All right, I'm going back to the iron. Yeah, that's true, Nancy, and I'm not really using those techniques, am I? All right, so we'll just iron these puppies. Pun intended. I might need, I have a little more water in here. I'm not even trying to match my seam up, but that one did. Let's see, can I do, no, this. There we go. These tables move real easy. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm not exactly sure where it was because funnily that Mina Lima opened up. Ooh, see that fabric does not want heat. Mina Lima opened their little pop-up shop. Like I think it was like 2 weeks after we left, and then I was going back. And they were, no, they weren't. No, then they closed it. They were supposed to close it like 9 months later. It was like a temporary pop-up, and then it became a permanent thing. So it's there now. But if you go, like look them up on Instagram, Malin. Mina, Minalima, Mina Lima Design. You can get a taste for what they do, but they actually have pictures of their little place, and it's really cute. Oh, okay. Good, Nancy. Hi, Vicky. Welcome. How's it going? We're just hanging out and sewing together. I'm just working on this little dog coat. I'm making the fabric for a little dog coat, but I finished one earlier. I'll show you in a few minutes if you want. I gotta steer clear of this fabric right there. These are at least coming out more square than the other ones I did on the little coat already. I'm hoping they'll at least like fit that or something bigger. The London Eye is really cool. I know that's kind of a touristy thing to do, Malin, but I really like it. I've only ever done it at night though. Yes, Louise, they do. My husband got me the sign above, wait. Yeah, he got me the Elops Emporium, Owl Emporium sign, and he also has given me Dumbledore's Memories. So they're these huge, they're bigger than what I'm showing you, prints, and then they're the artwork from the movies. The thing is, their stuff looks so nice that you can frame it in your home and it doesn't look Harry Potterish. They're beautiful. I'm just putting water in my, oh, you can see that. Yeah, so I feel like, when you see like fan art, I like fan art when it's made by fans, and I like their stuff. But I kind of shy away from anything Warner Brothers makes, even though I have a lot of it. Because people give it to me, and some of it's fun, because theirs is actually the stuff. Yeah, you do, but not that far. It's not hard, Nancy. I've only gone at night though. Maybe there's more availability, and it's always empty. But I've also gone in the winter. This is gonna look like some little ragtag tweed coat. It's gonna make him look like a little old man, which he kind of already does look like a little old man, to be honest. Yeah, it'll be fun, Milan. I hope you get to go. I haven't traveled to I'm not. I know it sounds like I've traveled a lot, and I know I have, but I haven't been to many places. I've just been to the United Kingdom a few times. And my husband travels a lot, so that helps, you know, for work. He took an $800 cab ride once in Great Britain. He flew in, and the weather was so bad that their train was canceled, and so the only way they could get to where they needed to go, and they had to get there, was a cab, and it was $800. He does not work for some big corporate spendy company like that either, but it was pretty important. Yeah, exactly, Nancy. Yeah, that's hard. Like, if you can get a cancellation, then. But we just book it online. Same with the tour, the Harry Potter tour, Malin. If you want to do that, you should definitely book that in advance online. And it's not in London. It's in like Leavesden or something like that. And you can take the train there. And then there's a bus that'll take you from the train station. You can do a whole package, and that works good. Just so you know. Okay. All right, so now let's hope that's enough to make a little coat. Wonder if I can get away with a bigger, probably not. Let's see if I can do a few though. This is going pretty quick actually. Oh, turn my thing. See, I almost forgot to use it. Oh gosh, I'm really cutting up my piece of paper. I did my whole thing over the other day, and I didn't cut my paper once. I'm not a big fan of gizmos, but this one's pretty cool. Yeah, Malin. When I was 30 years old was the first time I went. And it was my mom and my sister and I, because I turned 30 that year. My mom turned 50, and my sister turned 18, all the same year. Nothing like that was ever going to happen in our lives again, so we decided to book a trip. And we we rented a car. I can tell, like, oh, there we go. Okay, I'm worried. I don't want the heat to hurt my thing here. And I drove us between London to Ireland on the ferry, up Ireland, over to Scotland from Belfast, and then we went all the way over to Edinburgh, and then we went all the way down to London. That was our trip. It was really fun. It was trying. We definitely had some funny moments. It was definitely where I discovered my mom has some trouble with left and right. And when you're driving on the opposite side of the road than what you're used to, that left and right thing is very, very confusing. Because of the way you drive in America, when you turn right, you hug the corner. And so she would sometimes say right when she meant left, because there you hug the corner when you turn left. Oof. We had some moments. Oh, wow, Louise. That would be such a bummer. We could see like far away, but from there we could see where the Fantastic Beasts studio was. So I imagine that'll be open 10 years from now. to my smaller one. Doing a single layer is feeling more accurate, but slow. But aren't they cute? Now we have like good looking little squares. Maybe I can get these two to stack up. Have my little bin right here. I have kind of a lot of squares. Wait, were those my finished ones that I just stacked? I did, didn't I? Oops. I was thinking, dang, have I not made any progress? I think I'm going to get this to the point where I make my fabric and then I'll call it a stream. Because then that way I'll just be ready to sew it up. I can do that any old time. Because this is the tedious part, right? But at least it'll be unique. Not that that's what I'm going for, but. So boy, I don't even know what we're streaming next week. Shoot. I just realized that. What are we doing next week? What the heck? Huh. Wow. Terry, oh. Are they hard to match? Letting others pick out fabric, it's funny, you think like, oh, there won't be any issues with that until there are, you know? I mean, even just with having Hearts sponsor us, I sometimes have to say, oh, I can't use that fabric on camera. Because you know how we've seen how the cameras will sometimes act funny with the like narrow stripes. Or it's too dark, you know, like the saffron jeans were pretty dark, but I've gotten okay with the... I don't mind doing occasionally the dark ones, but I couldn't do it every week. Yeah, that's what I love about that Can You Sew This For Me account on Instagram. It's so funny. Some of them I'm like, was that person joking? That person could have been joking when they asked you that. You know? But I've definitely had my fair share of people not joking when they asked me to make things for them. In fact, my landlord was here the other day and he told someone, I asked her to sew, you know, the bride's mother's dress for me, and she said no. Like, he said that in front of me and I was like, yep, I said no. People are surprised. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Malin. Like, the pocket doesn't have to match. It can be 90 degrees different. You know? A few more. There's also something a little bit ASMR about this, isn't there? I'm going to a Valentine making party tomorrow. you know, I don't know if that we're really going to do that, but. Oh, no, PA, I'm sorry. Is there not a YouTube video? Yeah. I mean, it is nice when you can just tie off the threads and pull them through, but sometimes you actually do have to rethread it. You know, I don't know if this helps, but if you're freaked out because you're scared you're gonna break it when you go to sew, my tip would be turn the hand wheel and sew with that. Like turn the hand wheel towards you while you sew. Don't press on the foot pedal, the electricity. And that way you can go really slow, see what happens, see if you hear anything weird, and then if you start making stitches, you'll know you'll be okay. And then you can go, you know, a little bit more, and then start the power up gently. That might make you feel a little better if that's what's making you a little bit nervous. Because it works the same way in a serger. You can walk your hand wheel. Anytime you're nervous about your machine, just use your hand wheel in any machine. I do it all the time. Oh, that's such a bummer. I think I'm gonna, I was gonna take that local class on the serger, but I really just have like one or two things I want to go over with the gal, and I think I'm just gonna see if I can hire her. One-on-one, you know? Okay, look at that. Okay, so we just need to, let's use this. Oh no. We'll use our batting as a way to pick up every thread on my ironing board here. We'll just do it kind of willy-nilly. One of my things will be like this, and it is this one actually. I'm just gonna go around and do this. It was a little different with the snowflake one because I ended up making these squares first and then laying them on there. So I need about, if I do this many, 4, 8, 12. Okay, so 15. As long as I have 15 more, I'm good. And then I'm using solid fabric for the collar and straps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I'm fine. Cool. All right, I'm gonna go lay this on my machine. Hopefully it's not locked. Oh no, it's not locked this time. Little old man coat. Just gonna sew them together now. Oof, that's kind of looking thick, huh? That toaster sweater. And some of your strips are really narrow. Yeah, you just miss, you only get like 3 fabrics on there. I know that this will be a little big, but that's okay because it'll be easier to cut out if I have a bigger piece of fabric, you know? Every time I see this fabric, I'm like, I love that fabric. I'm so glad that I made a shirt out of it, you know? Shoot, I just flipped that. Yeah, that's true. You could do that. And take a picture, you know, the gift to your future self. I know you can do it, but I know that it's such a stressful thing, you know. You just got this great machine and you're like, dang it, I want to use my machine. So there's like that added pressure, you know. I feel that way about my Apple Pen. I wish I used it more. I forget I have it. Okay. I really think one of these fabrics is bugging my eyes. Just so weird. I don't usually have something like that. I've had it with like burlap. Don't ever sew on burlap. It's just awful. So it got a little smaller because of the seam allowance. Good to note. So I could use a little bit more here, but I think what I'll do is I'll just cut one of these in half, like this. Maybe I'll do this actually. Like this. How long have you had your serger, PA? See, I've had mine for a really long time, and I know how to use it. My problem is that the cover stitch doesn't work as well anymore, and I've taken it in and done the whole thing, and they just didn't seem like they knew what a cover stitch was, which made me really nervous. So I kind of want to just bring it to the serger teacher and be like, what do you think? You know, like, what do you think is going to bring back the elasticity and the cover stitch part of my machine, you know? Because that's kind of a problem if I can't use it. All right, so maybe I'll do that. It gets fiddly. And is your presser foot up? Wait, I just sewed that to the wrong side. Yeah, look at that. Mine has like, since I can convert it to the cover stitch or the serger, and when I'm threading part of it, I have to slide this little thing. And if I don't forget to slide it back, because it aligns the tubes up for the air threading, if I don't undo it and I start sewing, it makes this noise that makes me feel like I'm breaking my machine, and it's not. It's just letting you know, hey, you have that engaged still. I can't sew until you get rid of that little threading tool. And because it just goes, it's like, oh man. Every time I do it, it scares me, even though it does nothing to hurt the machine. Okay, there we go. That is going like this, right? Night, Malin. See you later. Oof, Ray, yeah. You know, my tip if you're gonna sew with burlap is if you can cut it outside. I know that's weird, but if you can cut it outside, you'll probably thank me later. And then or if you can't and you have to cut it inside just because of however you need to do it, cut it really, really carefully and then bring it outside really carefully, like put it in a plastic bag and bring it outside, and then shake it out, shake the heck out of it, and get rid of all that fiber off outside. That way you're kind of sparing your sewing room having the taint of burlap for forever, because that is what happens. You cannot get rid of it. It's awful. So that would be what I would suggest if you can. That's what I like. The couple of times I've allowed fake fur in my studio, I do that. I take it outside and shake it. All right, there's one side. And then I'll cut it out, obviously. Press it, cut it out. Make sure that this is centered, the little Velcro thing. There's one. See, this is pretty palatable on a little dog bed, right? Am I right? So let's see, I need the opposite. I need 3 across the bottom. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And just make sure you get rid of all of that. And I would also wear long sleeves. It's very, it's like, when you get a haircut and those little hairs bug your neck, it's far worse than that. It feels far worse. They just get in and burrow into your clothing and stuff. And so, yeah, that would be my tip. There was this trend, like, I don't know, 15 years ago of sewing things in burlap, like purses and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's fun. And they made colored burlap. And I did a little bit of it. And then I finally was like, this is what's driving me crazy in my studio. I couldn't figure it out. Like because it wasn't all something I was doing all the time. I didn't know that's what it was. And so once I figured it out, I was like, I donated all of it to a sewing student because they were into it. I was like, here you go. All yours. And I told them, I was like, just cut this stuff outside. It's insipid. Like, insipid is the word. Kind of trying to keep my seams pressed correctly and staggered so that they're nice and flat and low bulk. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I think no matter how experienced you are, and obviously people, I'm pretty experienced. There's nothing wrong with taking a class, because if they know, if that's their specialty, why not, It's great. I'm totally going to ask that woman. She's like a certified something surgeon, person. So it's like, that's her job, like she got certified to teach about surgers. But see, the only reason I don't want to take the class is that it's 5 hours long, and so the 5 hours long thing, I was like, oh, and almost everything listed is all stuff I know. Everything listed is everything I know, because it's not talking about my specific thing. So, and I don't want to be that student that's in the class saying, but what about me? What about my issue? So I don't want to take away from her students, because they're there to learn what they want to learn. So I just thought maybe it would be better. Hopefully she's open to that. I don't know who she is. I've just heard great things, and she's always on the schedule with this class. So I know if she is, it must be really popular and good. All right, so I need 2 here, right? A half of one. A half of one here. 1, a half of one, and 1. All right, we got a plan. So my daughter, I'm going to pass along something. She just passed along this tip to me, and all of her friends are like, thank you so much for telling me this. I haven't looked on my phone for this, but so she likes to download Netflix on her phone, like a video, and then go and hang out in her car and look at sunset. She used to paint a lot at sunset and go and do that, and just have it on in the background. And she couldn't figure out why her storage, because she had deleted what she'd watch it and delete it, and she was like, my storage is still like full. Well, if you go into storage in your phone, it's still there. And she just learned that. And so she's like, I had 60 out of 64 megabytes taken, or gigabytes, I don't remember, taken up on my phone. And so then I found this thing on storage, and she goes, and I went through it, and I now have 32 more gigabytes or gigabytes, I'm sure, of storage. So if anyone does that and they need that little tip, I can at least pass it along. She'll be thrilled to know if she's helped anybody else. She shared it in some sort of like group chat with her friends, and her friends was like, what? This is awesome. So apparently it's widespread. Dang it, I just got that little, there we go, I got it. 2, 2, half, 1.5 right here. I have one of these squares to spare. Nailed it. All right. Here we go. And then this one here. Where do I want this one? 1 square left. Well, and to be there for 5 hours, even if I could learn all of that, that's a long time for me. Yeah, I hope that she'll do the computerized class. And if she had computerized class, I'm reading your chat. I hope she'll do the one-on-one, because she might not be interested in that. She may have done that before, and she's like, no, people are all over the board. So we'll see. And maybe if the store kind of helps me on my behalf. This looks pretty cool. You just bought a new, oh wait, what, I see. Oh, that's cool. You just bought a new non-computerized baby lock. That's awesome, Ray. That's awesome, Ray. But you've been too busy to use them. I know, right? It is very inconvenient. Spare square. All right, I think I'm gonna iron this a little bit, and then I'm gonna cut it out. Ooh, I just love that transition now. This mat's a little small. It's not a little small. It is small. This is pretty wet. And then the belly strap will be this. And I lost the collar. I was looking for it before I started, and I just remembered I never found it. Awesome, bumpy stuff, man. Yeah, well, that's the thing, Ray. It's like, I actually think sometimes doing beginning classes is so great because you really forget some of those things you learned a long time ago. I also think it's great to be around beginners because hearing their questions is really good to hear. You know, it's like, oh yeah, of course you wouldn't know that, you know? So, so yeah, if I had the time, I would actually take it because then I could pass along a lot of stuff to you, you know, here and there. All right. I definitely am not like pressing this for heirloom quilt quality. It is just for the bulk thing. What is that flashing? Oh, the car is going by over there. That's weird. I can see the street from here. I forget that. My windows are, I have one window and it's very high up. I can barely see out it. I imagine that maybe they even include that serger class with the purchase of sergers, or they really encourage it and that might keep it going. But I have heard really good things about it, so. All right. So I will say, like, every time I use this technique, this is the third time, it doesn't, like, I like the way this looks, don't get me wrong, but there's something about the way she does it that I really love the way it looks. Like, I like the colors that she picked, and I don't know. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this is something I definitely need some more practice in. This was a pretty easy no-brainer, right? They're all flannels. They're all kind of in the same kind of thing, you know. I didn't really get too adventurous. Same with the winter skiing fake knitting ones, you know, that I made for Loki. But for a quilt, like when I did it for my little like coffee thingy, the noise dampener that I made on Instagram, that one didn't turn out the way I wanted. Now I appreciate it. Every morning I look at it and I'm like, you know, I appreciate this thing. I like it. But, and you know, partly it's just because I did it in kind of browns, really nice fabrics, and altogether it just looks kind of scrappy and kind of old fashioned. You know what I mean? There's a neck. I don't have it yet. Yeah, it is Louise. It's from that book called Cultural Wait, that's not what it's called. It's right here. Yeah, cultural fusion. So like, look at the colors of this one. You know? Like, I really love that. It's scrappy, I know, but I don't know. And so the one I did, that is this one here. And remember, I did 5-inch blocks to start off with. It's much smaller. So if you can kind of see how there's this like petal in the middle of these squares right here. The square's middle's right there. There's a bigger one right there. That was this. Look at those colors. Those are really nice. I mean, those colors are really nice too. The grays. I don't know. I think it's overwhelming. That's kind of why I bought that whole big thing of that fabric block of all those same fabrics in every color. You know, that Ruby Star Society one. This one right here. This. Look at that. Hubba hubba. You know? So this, I think, like, just taking the guesswork out of picking the fabrics out was a good call for me. You know? Yeah, exactly, Louise. Of course, right? Yeah, and I know that, but I still was like, wham. You know? Okay, so let's see. Cut this out best I can here. I'm really testing the limits of my little table today. All right, so the most important thing here is that I get my strap centered over that Velcro. But I also need to kind of maybe bias it a little bit down so that I get the top of this right here. I'm barely catching that. I'm not really catching it. Using the batting makes it a little easier because it sticks. All right. I'm pretty good at tossing things in my garbage can from here now. See that? Look at that. Now I have my pattern piece in my fabric. For my Loki's old man coat. This one I just need to get on completely onto the fabric. Might be a little bit crooked, but the patchiness I think will cover all that up. I'm not worried about it. All right. Okay. Yes, I know my blade is open. I promise I won't cut myself. Okay, so now I have my dog coat ready to sew. So yeah, exactly, Louise. All right, it's new to me. Yeah, but that's the thing. That's why I say I'm working on it, and it's kind of like, honestly, I think that's kind of cool to have something to work on like that, you know. All right, so I have my collar, but I can't find my collar pattern piece. I mean, my fabric pattern piece. I have my belly band. I have my lining here. This one's ready to go. This will be a nice little sew to do when I have some time. So then it'll have this strap around his belly. And this one I actually was going to use this binding from a quilt I finished, my cat quilt. I thought it had that kind of tweedy look to it, but maybe not. Maybe I'll just sew it the way I've been sewing it because that's working so well. I might skip the collar. We'll see. So cool. Well, that's ready. I got the, now it's cut out and ready to go, right? I had to make the fabric, so it was a little bit more work. So I'll show you the ones I've made today. Let me just stack these up nicely so they're ready to go. You know, this is me giving a gift to my future self. Because I plenty of times just throw stuff in the bin and chunk it in there, and then I'm like, oh my God, what a mess, you know? Here we go, let's go like that. And then that, like this. Collar if I choose to, and I can find it. No idea where it went. I'm sure it's just hanging off of something. I'm so itchy, you guys. Like, I'm telling you, something is really itchy over here. So put that in the bin. I have one leftover square, which is not leftover at all. I will use for the whole facing that we made. Maybe I'll use the binding. And so today we made, well, I made this one yesterday. I'm gonna call this the après-ski look. You know, when Loki's coming off the slopes and needs, you know, that little warm after-ski outfit. And then this one is, you know, the best buddy walking with my favorite pal, Molly look. So yeah, it's that one little square. Look, it'll be perfect for that right there. Yay. Can't wait to try this on him. And now that I have the Velcro on this, it'll be good too. I just saw my collar kind of sneaking out there. And you know, you can pop the collar. We do that on the little sheepskin one, keep them warmer. So, I don't know about best dressed. Definitely eye-catching. So, yeah. I forgot the collar on this one. I still have it. I guess I could probably figure out, like, how to get it on there. You know, I could put the seam, you know, like, just stitch it down right there, but you know, right, Louise? I have always wanted to knit a doggo sweater. I never had a dog for that, so I was like, oh, I can finally knit Loki a sweater, and I was like, what? I can sew one faster. So I know, right, Ray? I know. I'm sure the couch one will still get used. So well, thanks for coming, you guys. That was fun. Thanks for indulging my little pet project. And I don't know what we're sewing next week. Dang, I really need to do this thing called a schedule, because this kind of stresses me out when I don't know. And I have the Folkwear wrap dress, but it's kind of springy. And then I have that cashmere Alcott dress, but I kind of want to meet with the serger gal before I sew that one because I really want it to turn out nice. But the fabric is so bouncy and yummy, so I'll figure it out. So stay tuned. Trying to think what I have. Oh, I have my mom. Oh, we could do guinea pig. We could do my mom's hillside tote and the guinea pig. What is the stream coming to? If you guys are down for that. I'll probably do the guinea pig for sure on camera, but I don't know about the hillside tote. We'll see about that because I already did that. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to need to start sewing some chicken boots things too, so I'll let you guys know. All right, you guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday most likely, and hopefully all the stream stuff will be sorted out, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's not looking likely anything will change, but we'll see. So have a great weekend. Happy sewing, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm Sarami, and I'm on Instagram. Check out the website, sewsew.live, for all the links to all the projects we make. They're a nice, tidy little format. If you want to support me, I'm on Patreon, and the link is in the description. And there's also a way to donate, like a one-time only thing with Streamlabs. And you could give me your Twitch Prime, but honestly, I can't get Twitch to stream right now for the last week, so I wouldn't blame you if you wouldn't want to give me that. So, so let's... yeah, let's follow up next week, guys. Looking forward to seeing you. Guinea pig! Woo, woo. Yes, absolutely sewing circle. All right, you guys. I'll see you guys Wednesday. Have a great weekend.